everything on the wall, is it considered mapping or is it monogram animation?
So if there's a monogram there, then the rest of it's all mapped.
We might be live. We might be live. I really don't know. I am trying to check.
With the animated monogram.
Sometimes it is difficult.
Yeah. Well, this animation.
If this is live out on YouTube, well, jump ahead a little bit in the recording because it might be live and it might be not live. I don't know. We're seeing what's going on here. If we are picking up.
I brought all the clips.
So that one that's
Trying to go and check and see what's going on. So I've been trying to stream here from the mobile DJ meetup here in Allentown, and we haven't had a lot of luck. And I don't think it's that. I see numbers. So hey, we must be doing something somewhere out there. We are to do live coming to you from the incredible state of Pennsylvania. YouTube. I'm seriously sick of the whole studio thing. It's like a screw up, messed up situation. So I'm gonna go to the direction I know. Ryan, how we? Come on over, Ryan.
Hey.
Come on over. You are going to be speaking tomorrow, Ryan. Is that correct?
What's that?
You're speaking tomorrow.
I'm not speaking at all.
You're not speaking at all. Where,
No.
where did I thought I saw that you were on the schedule?
Nope, I'm just here as a
He's
guest.
just here as a
Yeah.
guest. Well,
I'm just here because cool people like John Young are here. So.
Well, that's very nice of you to say, even though the old guys have probably bored everyone to death today. It's day one. What were your? Hey, we are live. Look at
We're
that.
live. Oh, hey, cool. Hi.
It does
Hi,
work.
people on the internet.
Wow. Wow. That's exciting. So day one. What are your thoughts?
It's awesome. I love the smaller shows like this because I feel like the networking is better. You have better conversations. You get to see people and get better questions and answers, better content. Killer lineup of speakers in there. I mean, watching Donnie speak every time just gives me goosebumps with his technical prowess and the projections and
Things
everything.
he's doing.
Yeah,
it's like incredible.
It's great. We actually have I did not expect, I was a late attendee, so I didn't expect a showroom of any kind. We've got some great vendors here
Yeah.
presenting some great content, and they're staying as long as there's people, which is, they're not locking up the showroom like you see at a lot of conferences, so it's cool. I think they did a good job putting this together.
I would definitely agree. It's a nice mix of networking and a little bit of information and examples. And Donnie demonstrating his different lighting things and such, and even the idea thing at the end here. You know, there's a couple of gems in there that it's like, oh, I could implement that in my business. It would build more business because of what the idea. That's worth it. That's worth it.
Speaking of Donnie, so I'm giving you some good props over there, and you're interrupting the interview. Come over here.
Donnie's over there.
I'm sorry.
We're giving you some props.
Yeah,
She's asking
we're
you what
busy. Yeah, we're live here. We're out into the internet.
I just kind of cut in. I had no idea. I totally feel bad. Sorry.
So then we're talking about this being an event that's kind of more of an engaging event maybe than some of the other events. Why did you guys go that direction?
So basically, me, Owen, and Don met at the Lighting Symposium, and we had that really engaged feeling when we were at the Lighting Symposium. You know, when you go to Mobile Beat or you go to DJ Expo, once the show is over, people tend to scatter, right, and do their own thing. And although that's the expectation of it, that's not what most people want when they're going to it, right? Because when I go to shows, the content is great, but really the stuff that we're kind of absorbing after the content is over is the biggest things for me, right? So the symposium, everybody was always together. So like dinner-wise, most people went out to eat together, and then after that we went out to wherever. But everything that we did was all together. So if we went to the bar, whether it be First Avenue, and they're playing on a DJ system, and they're cranking, they're doing things, and we're having drinks, we just made these like amazing connections with everybody, and it was just an awesome feeling. And I remember that same feeling when I talked about my Disney stuff today.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of that Disney experience. I had that same kind of feeling when we did Ben and Mike's show at the symposium. So I said to Don and Owen when we met, they came to my town last winter, and I said, yo, let's do a show that has that same kind of networking vibe that the symposium had, but do it locally. And so we did a test show in Wapenders, had about 40 tickets available. We did it at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Sure.
And it was over like 5 or 6 hours, and sold all the tickets. We did the same kind of production as this. So we had this small room of a Buffalo Wild Wings, just packed to the gills with all this production stuff that we did. And because everybody has their own expertise, right? Like Don with the sound, Owen with the lighting, me with the projections and doing everything. And we just offer it. And And then afterwards, we just wanted everybody to just kind of stay together and network. And then it went great. We did a follow-up questionnaire afterwards, and everybody loved it. So we said, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just try it out. And we picked Allentown because it's so central to everybody in the Northeast, easy to get to. And the goal was, that's why we're doing the open turntables each night. We're trying to keep everybody there. We're trying to keep everybody together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds corny, but it's like that whole family vibe. Like everybody that's coming, investing in themselves, why should that investment only stay within the room? And I feel like, I'm not taking anything away from Mobile Beat, I'm not taking anything away from DJ Expo, but once you leave those rooms, I feel like your investment kind of leaves, and it's more about the parties.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know, so
I don't think you're offbeat with that at all. I mean, I've been targeting more of the smaller shows. Reason, it's better FaceTime with people that have things to offer and maybe you have something to offer back that they didn't realize.
Exactly. And so when we were talking about doing the show, the whole idea was to do like I did for the when we did me and Artem's customer service ones. We wanted people to interject. We wanted people to, give their own advice and influence everybody else in the room, because we're on stage speaking, but that doesn't mean, we're the only people in the room that know how to do customer service in a certain way.
Yeah.
There's people that are coming here that are investing so much time into doing certain things that they can influence people that are sitting in the room. So why not, instead of having two people standing on stage giving a lecture, why not have a giant conversation with the 80-something people we have inside this room and the two people on stage, and so that everybody's constantly writing down. And that's, when I'm standing on the stage, the whole thing I'm looking at, and it throws me off sometimes, is making sure that the hands are going like this. Because if they're writing constantly, that means they're getting the content that they wanted to get, and they're making that investment worth it for them. So, that's key to us.
Yeah, no, that was been really good. A good experience. Day one, which we're just wrapping up, and now we're headed over to the
Sam Adams restaurant,
brew house, whatever it's called.
Place to serve Sam Adams and put the name on the door.
Yes, the open turntable.
Which Sam Adams is like across the street, the actual brewery.
Right, it's actually, I think it's behind us.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's behind us. I think it's behind us, the actual brewery itself, and then they got this place. I didn't get to go to it last night because we were in there setting up the room.
And that's what I wanted to do.
Johnny's had about 70 minutes of sleep.
Saturday. So share the behind the scenes though, getting that room set up. And if you want to see what the room looks like, go out to instagram.com/discjockeynews. And I went through with a few, so you can get an idea of what the room looks like. How was it setting that up?
Yeah, so to kind of give you a little story, Saturday we had a wedding, rocked out the wedding, did our thing, came home, 1 o'clock in the morning, back to my trailer in, decided, hey, we're gonna get that hour back so I could utilize that hour, right? Like it's not even happening. And I ended up spending 2 hours loading my trailer and then sleeping for 3, waking up in the morning, reloading the trailer again, and then driving here for 3 hours, and then getting here at 1 o'clock and setting up for 12 hours. And there. So yeah, Don did all the sound, and I mean that's like concert production level in there for sound, lighting, and projections. It's definitely not something that is small or quote unquote regional, right? We held our expertise, and we want to show off everything that we could do to everybody and kind of inspire, right? So why would we hold back at anything? We booked the room for an extra day so we could go in there and just kind of blow it out.
Do it up and down.
You know what I mean? So I bought the drapery, I bought the staging setup, like the whole setup there, and Don did the sound, and it sounds amazing, and people are definitely getting pissed off, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, I know the person that's right above there was screaming downstairs at us. But the time invested and the lack of sleep definitely was worth every time investment we had in there, because it looks so good in there.
Yeah, it does.
And the content is, I think the content was like really good, and just, I think for the $100 to $139 that people pay for it, they're definitely getting every penny's worth of value out of it. So I'm excited.
Definitely exceeded my expectations, that's for sure.
That's awesome, and that's what we really wanted to do. And just like every time I talk, I want to make sure people are writing. I want to make sure they get value out of it. If anything that I'm putting my time into, I got to make sure it's just represents what I do or what everybody else does. And I know what people's perception is, or when they come in the room, I want them going, oh yeah, Johnny said that. That's not what I want them to say. That's really all.
That's what they're saying that when they see his fireplace. Oh yeah, there's Donnie's fireplace.
Yes.
The DJ booth is a fireplace
Right.
that he renovated to make it into
Completely
a booth.
modified.
It's been fun watching you build it over months. It's great to finally like get
Oh,
the
90 hours, yeah. They definitely have a lot of time into that thing. The whole top is completely different than what it was. The whole bottom of the trim I added, the 2 side pieces I added. Yeah, it was my version that I would never do it. I'm absolutely, for version 2, I'm definitely paying someone to do this.
It'd be a lot easier.
somebody
Yeah,
to move it in and out of the venue.
yeah. Because so our house, we have an 1,800 square foot house, 900 square foot even is my office.
Oh my.
So my kids only get to live in 900 square feet. We don't have a garage. The new house is gonna have a garage because when I built it in my living room. And it stayed in there for 4 weeks as I'm building it every single day, building it out. And then I finally moved it out and put it to, because I have a giant shed, like a 20 by 24 shed. So I moved it in there and then I started modifying everything else. But for that 4 weeks, the kids could not stay in the living room.
Yeah, there's no room for it.
That's not, yeah, absolutely right.
Don't touch that.
No, yeah, see, Jen, I have to say, is absolutely incredible. She's my right-hand partner. You know, we think alike all the time, and she didn't care for the first week.
For the first week.
For the other 3 weeks, we won't go there.
I was gonna say there was more than just 1 week though.
Yeah,
Is that done yet?
seriously, right? I would just want it to be warm in here. We don't have a fireplace anymore.
But we're gonna have a killer DJ booth
That's right.
in
That's
about
right.
another 70, 80 hours.
That's right. That's right. And now we're 2 years in, and I, you know, it's fell a couple times. I've knocked it over. And it's just all that time I put into that thing was definitely worth it.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
Yes.
Congratulations, you guys have put on a great show there, and I'm excited for day 2 tomorrow.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Brian's going on tomorrow. Mike's going on tomorrow. We got
We got a
Lou's
lot of
going on
people.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Come out here!
So I wanted to go through the schedule, Ryan.
Yeah.
So if you let's kind of give some thoughts on the schedule for today. Because we started off with Big Daddy. So for those of you who follow me on Facebook, I don't know if you saw. Did you see the? Because I put out there something about Big Daddy dropping the F-bomb or something to that.
Oh,
effect.
that's you just expect that after a while.
And yeah, the number of comments and engagements and oh my gosh, people were going back and forth. So for those of you who don't realize it, you guys were the talk of the show this morning as people were laughing about all the engagement on that because Big Daddy used some colorful language in his presentation today. Okay, so let's get past the colorful language. You've heard him speak before?
Oh
then?
yeah, I've heard him speak many times. Big Daddy is one of the very first people I heard speak. It's been 10 years since my first DJ Expo in Atlantic City. He's always inspirational. His backstory is touching. He's a dynamic personality to see on stage and a very genuine person, which I think is something interesting, good to see in a presenter. It's not rehearsed. He never uses a script. He never uses a prompter. Never uses notes. Everything he says is from the heart. So I think it was a great way to kick off a Monday morning because it's just kind of hits you in the feels and it kind of sets you up for the rest of the day.
And his message, he was kind of part of it. He's kind of all over with a lot of different areas throughout the presentation. But he talked about moving from being that person in front when we were younger and prettier to, and you probably are, you're not there yet, but
no.
some of us have moved to more of a back setting, and he kind of talked about that and that evolution, and yet he can still bring it when he needs to.
Right.
But that there is that evolution, and in essence, to embrace that, I think is probably the message that he really came through.
And when and how to do it selectively in finding your audience. So if he's dealing with a crowd that's in his own age bracket or a mixed audience, he's appropriate as a front man. But if he's got a group of high school students or early 20-somethings, they don't want to see a man in his 60s performing. They want to see somebody their own age. So he can kind of pull the puppet strings while the younger folks are in line of sight.
There's, for those of us in our 50s and headed, we definitely was like taking notes on that. Let's see. Second, then we had Artem and Donnie, who was just here with us. The guys were talking about words, and they basically put their presentation together around different words, talking about really customizing, making your events more. How would you describe that?
So their whole thing was they took keywords that related to their business models and then opened it up for discussion for everybody to throw in their ideas. And I personally thought it was an interesting, actually a really powerful duo because Artem and Donnie have both spoken multiple times on their own. And the one thread that they both have through very different business models is customer service and the experience behind their performance. They're both high-end performers. They're both in the upper end of their target market. They both offer a luxury service. So to talk about customer service from a I guess you could say, luxury standpoint,
Certainly.
was a great thing for them to team up on. And I think they covered so many bases in one shot. A lot of comparison to the Disney model, which has gotten talked a lot before. But the way that Disney employees and Disney cast members, because you can't call them employees, everything they do is geared towards the guest experience and making sure that people are happy, which is, I think, a critical message for entertainers, because if people aren't happy, then we're not doing our jobs. And I know in my own business, everything that we offer is geared around making it entertaining, making it engaging for the guests, and you want to see smiles on people's faces, and no matter what it takes to do that. So I think they did a great job bringing in multiple different approaches to that across a whole bunch of buzzwords.
And as Donnie was mentioning, it was not only their approach and their thoughts behind this, but they were getting influence from or different comments and such from the audience,
Right.
which really was kind of neat, because you could some people. There's a variety of experience levels. There's some people who are newer to the industry, some people who do a certain type, and then there's some people who have been very experienced and have years and years of really a higher end business knowledge. And it was interesting to hear them talk, and how even behind hearing them share with each other in the seats, it's just kind of a neat way, and it was kind of neat to see that engaging throughout the room. So that was fun. That was a lot of
It's
fun.
great to get the multiple perspectives too. The fact that they opened it up to a conversation base, because as somebody in the front row pointed out, there's not one right way to do things. If it works for your guests or your clients,
What was it? What was that? These
they're talking about the anniversary dance.
Yep.
And the ways that there were
There we
like
go.
7 different ways that came up to do an anniversary dance. And
Yeah.
so if it works for your performance, then it works.
Yeah, they were talking. Yeah, the anniversary. So one person mentioned one thing, and then one person said, "Well, I do it the other way, and the right way." And then there was and then it's like,
Because my way's the right way. That's how it always is.
Precisely.
Your way's wrong. My way's right.
And the gentleman's like, "Does your way lead to referrals and make people happy? Yes.
Yeah.
Does your way lead to referrals and make people? Yes." There's your
Then what's
answer.
the problem, right?
There's your answer. Okay, continue on. Then we had lunch, of
Yes.
course. Michael from Bible was up on stage, and he was kind of sharing a little bit of his story. And not so much the Bible story, yes, that it was talked about, but just it was kind of interesting hearing how he came from the DJ background, and he's coming from Israel, and how the things he did. That was kind of an interesting. You don't hear that typically from.
Right, and I told him afterwards. I've been a Vibo customer for about 4 months, and I've talked a lot with Michael, and I told him a lot of his success story. I feel like has been and will continue to be his personal involvement in sharing those stories, because kind of like, and I compared him to Ben Stowe. I said Ben Stowe is a brand just as much as NLFX is, because he is a person that people can connect with and relate to.
Yep.
So I think Michael's on that track, that he pours his heart and soul into that business and that software, and sharing the story today, talking more about his own backstory than selling the product. I think even if it didn't line people up out the door to sign up for it today, I think in the end that's going to be his biggest success.
Because people do like to make that personal connection. That they do. Let's see. After lunch, DJ Barr was on stage. DJ Barr was talking social media and tools of it, and boy, he covered a lot of ground in
Oh
that.
my goodness, yeah. And the hard thing with social media is the rules always seem to change. And I think I'm a little older than I look. I think DJ Barr is a little bit younger than some of us are. So I think he's more on the pulse of social media. So it's always fascinating to watch people who really have that, like they understand it, to talk about it. And I kind of soak it up like a sponge, because as soon as I think I have it figured out, all the rules change.
Yep. That they do. Bart was going through with some of the gear, the camera equipment and things that he uses, because you get sometimes we think it's just aiming a cell phone. And it's so much more, especially at the level that Barr was doing it. And then he showed some video footage that he is using for promotion with his own personal services.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's really cool.
Well, I talked about some great ways to set up cameras and capture the media too,
Yep.
because content really is the thing, and I know that's the thing I always struggle with, is what am I showing people that they're going to care to see. So it's cool to watch his approach and the different cameras that he sets up and the different snippets. And I know the Instagram stories is a thing I'm still trying to wrap my head around, and it's cool to see the way he uses that. And I think I need to build my team out more to kind of handle that, because it's not where my head is at when I'm performing.
And I was trying to figure, did he have today like 4 or 5 cameras on him?
He had 3, I think. Yeah,
3,
he had a couple
okay.
of GoPros, and he had a point-and-shoot camera. It was the one big takeaway was don't use a DSLR, because you don't want to annoy the photographers that you're trying to build relationships with, and intimidate them, kind of like somebody else, like a photographer bringing a turntable to the wedding. You don't want to show up with a big DSLR and kind of get in their way. But there's some really effective ways to get that media, like your phone.
And again, he had cameras around the room catching, because I think there was one in the back, And then I had the one Bar. If you guys have ever seen Bar when he's shooting at a show, yeah, there's multiple cameras. He's setting things around and doing his thing. So that was neat to see. And then of course at 2 o'clock.
Who's this John Young guy? What did he talk about?
John Young guy was on stage. Probably, I think everyone took a nap during that one, and pretty much.
But it was a great nap. I thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. No, at 2 o'clock, I went through and did the Facebook, talking a little bit about doing advertising on Facebook, and really using Messenger, which, from my perspective, and as I've talked to people, Messenger seems to be the way a lot of people are communicating nowadays. It's, the text message is still there, but it's like that direct message through Instagram and through Messenger and Facebook. I know many people who aren't using Facebook at all, but they're using Messenger. Right. And that was a big part of why I wanted to make sure we hit that today and utilizing that, because those ads are some of the most successful ads when you're talking in the social media world of the people who are teaching social media. They're talking at a level that people should be doing more there. So we want to make sure we hit that today. A lot of stuff going through that. So jumping next, Donnie was on at 3 o'clock. And it was kind of a here's the room, ask me questions type of a presentation. I mean, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I think that's his strength, though. He's talked about projection a lot through various things, and if I had to guess, I'd say he doesn't have anything else to show that's any newer than before, except it's a new audience every time that have different questions. Maybe they've tried it and they've failed on something, or they're unsure of something. So he really thrives with the Q&A because he can just kind of get right in front of people and okay, here's the solution to your problem. Here's something cool you can turn around and do with it instead. And the line for questions was just continuous.
It was. The microphone sitting in the middle of the room, and there were people coming up to that microphone numerous times. They're asking questions. And Donnie's taking questions, and he's got examples set up there, and inviting people to come in after to say, hey, you want to go and touch and play? Yeah, I'll help you. We'll walk you through it.
He's a very hands-on kind of person, a hands-on teacher. I know he does a lot of direct coaching with people, teaching them how to do projection, either in his home or by consultation. So that's definitely his strength. Just hands-on, answer your questions.
Very everyday, every person, there's every man right there. And he speaks the language, and he's very approachable.
Yeah.
And that's what was really cool about it. It wasn't one of these things that you felt like, oh my gosh, I can't go talk to him. No, you go up there and you can shoot, and he'll teach you things that you never knew you knew. Then they wrapped up today with an idea sharing time, which that was interesting.
That's the first time I've seen something like that.
Yeah, I haven't either. They had some contestants who had signed up, who had an idea of something that could be added to your services. And then there was a voting, and I guess we're going to find out tomorrow.
I thought maybe I missed it. They didn't announce winners.
I don't know. Maybe they did. I didn't hear it either, because it was until 5 o'clock, which we would have been headed out by 5. So I'm guessing tomorrow we'll get to hear it. But yeah, they had 3 presentations up there, and one of the presentations, I mean, they were all 3 very good. I was very, very impressed with that. But there was one little nugget from the one presentation. Actually, there were 3 different ideas that it came out with from each one. That one nugget will probably be worth the price of admission.
Well, then purpose served, right?
Exactly. It was just a really kind of a cool thing. But it was neat to see more ideas in that session.
I'll be curious to see if anybody else adopts that model. It's kind of like Shark Tank at the end.
It really was.
It was really a neat idea.
Yeah, it really was. So we're being a little bit vague on that, because first off, it was these people put the time together to come up with these ideas and do that. So
if you'd like to know, buy a ticket.
Buy a ticket and be there next year. That way you're going to see. Or if they have the recordings, you can check those out later. So then tomorrow's day 2 here in Allentown. We're going to have starts in the morning, and I think it goes until like 5:12.
Yeah, sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's going to be another full day with some great stuff. Brian Red's going to be here, be doing it. Lou Paris is here. See, Michael is, what was he talking about? I saw that.
Michael Livers.
Yeah.
He's got stuff and things.
Yeah, there's the schedule I'm looking at here. Then there was one that talked about what every presentation is, and that would require to get 2 website pages up, and that's way too much work for us. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll give you guys kind of highlights of what happened and such with day 2. So Ryan, thank you very much. This was fun. I enjoyed our time together, and we enjoyed having you guys here watching us, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody.